this kind of a turn in my career. Last January, if somebody has asked me whether I would be thinking about politics, I would have laughed at it. Even my friends, family, everyone. I had no idea that I would be getting into politics. It was a decision which was made because when I started traveling in the state, the kind of love and affection I got all over the state, especially in places where I have never worked, where I have never been, all those places, women, youth, that made me think that maybe I have to get out of bureaucracy to be more accessible to people. And the Chief Minister also saw that, so that's how it happened.
So how is it like to wear a different hat, to being a successful bureaucrat piloting every project of the government, and a politician who has to meet, greet 24/7, shake hands and make himself available to public?
I would say that if your intention of joining the civil service is to serve the people, then politics is also the same way one has to deliver. And in fact, as collector also or as sub-collector, I used to be very fond of doing my grievance cells, do decentralized grievance cells. Like generally collectors will have grievance cell in the district headquarters. Like for example, in my time, 20 years back, 18, 19 years back, I started having grievance cell in all the subdivisions so that people don't have to travel. And then I started having at block level also. Then the government took it up as an institutional mechanism to make grievance mandatory for collectors to do it in decentralized locations. So I always had that idea of reaching out to people, run that extra mile. Finally, they are citizens and you are here to serve them. So that with that attitude I didn't see so much of a change between, perhaps I feel more freedom in being in this job, being in this assignment.
You were known for being a tough officer, clearing encroachments, not caring that, if that house belongs to a powerful person. Have you carried that toughness into the politics which require a lot of compromises?
Absolutely, because my guru, Navin Babu, is also known for toughness. He would be one of the few, perhaps very few leaders who have taken action against his own ministers in such large scale, or his MLAs. He introduced a concept called anti-people. People would have known about anti-party activity. A political party or a leader removing MLAs, MPs or leaders on the basis of anti-party activities. Our Navin Babu created a word called anti-people. People, MLAs from BJD, who have worked against the interest of people, he called them anti-people and removed from the party. So that is the kind of ruthlessness with which he functions when it is related to anything anti-people or integrity or doing something for selfish interest.
Is he a tough taskmaster? What is the relationship you have with Naveen Babu? Is it like a guru, boss, mentor?
I think if we take it in our Hindu Dharma, Guru Shishya is a very beautiful relationship. It encompasses everything. It has disciplining, it has love, it has care, it has action, it has everything possible. So I would put it that way. And he is an inspiration. He is an infinite inspiration. Whatever he does, you get inspired by him. Because you will see a softer side of him crying for the people, and a tough side of him who goes all out against people persons who are against people's interest, however big they are. So that is his character. So for people, he is always soft, always accessible, always pro. Whereas vested interest he is completely against.
This election you have been campaigning very emotionally. You recently made a statement saying that you'll take Sanyas. Why?
I said that in case I made an open challenge to Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, the Union Minister, because he has been telling that there is a hawa in favor of BJP. They are spreading lies that they are having a hawa in favor of BJPs. So I said that, okay, if you have a hawa, then you should be forming government. I am saying there is a Navin hawa in the air. People are very fond of Navin Babu and they are going to give him a huge majority, 3/4 majority. So I make a challenge with you that Navin Babu is going to get 3/4 majority, and he will swear in on 9th June from 11:30 to 1 p.m. So this is my statement. And if this won't happen, I'll resign from politics. You are saying that you are coming back to, you are getting into government. So will you accept my challenge? I will quit if Navin Babu won't become CM. Will you do the same thing if BJP won't go to power? That is my statement.
And what are your expectations in Lok Sabha? This is assembly elections.
We'll do much better than 2019.
You'll do much better than 2019.
Absolutely.
Mr. Pandian, you have been singularly taken out by Bharatiya Janata Party for attack. They're attacking you every day. Why?
Perhaps they don't have any guts to attack the Honorable Chief Minister. And I see it as a positive point, because my leader, if all the attack I take, I am doing a role for my leader and the party. So it's good to have, and people of Odisha will show what they have been doing and how their strategy has worked or not worked on June 4th. Because the kind of work I have been identified with due to Navin Babu, whether it is transformation of schools, transformation of colleges, transformation of hospitals. So people have seen it. So if they are attacking me, that means that there is a traction with people. So that is why they want to attack me. And they won't dare to attack Navin Babu, because he is the most popular chief minister in the country, even with 24 years of incumbency.
How do you respond to the charge when they say that you are an outsider in Odisha politics?
So the national party has to first explain which Indian citizens can be an outsider. You are a national party. You go all over the world and preach Vasudeva Kutumbakam, right? Correct. You say that whole world. So you are a national party. First you say who is an outsider. Number two, if you introduce this insider-outsider concept, how many states what level it is going to impact? Please think twice before introducing. You fight elections. You do electoral politics. People of Odisha will give a befitting reply to them. Whether I am an outsider or an insider, whether if by birth I am from some other place, but I am an Indian citizen by birth I am Odia. I have lived for more than 24 years here. So people of Odisha will decide who is an outsider and who is an insider. They are making it as a political strategy. They don't have anything else to attack me on. So,
Mr. Pandian, during Navin Babu's tenure, there was an equidistance which Odisha maintained with the centre, neither having a very strong fight with the centre like Aam Aadmi Party, nor being completely removed as if they have nothing to do with it. It was transactional. But of late, we saw a little bit of romance, if I may use the word, between BJD and BJP, and suddenly they started attacking you. What has happened? That's one. And secondly, what is this relationship between BJD and BJP as two political entities? Can you shed some light on that?
Absolutely. So this romance between two political parties is not true. You have to see from a government point of view. Forget about party now. From a government point of view, the state government in a federal setup has to have a constructive cooperation with the central government. You can't be fighting all the time. You fight during elections. That's the principle of Navin Babu as well. He doesn't do politics when elections are not there. Only when elections are there, we have to do politics. Otherwise, it's completely have a great rapport with the central government, do for a larger cause, either it is for the country or for the state. In fact, the talk between the two leaders is also, I would say that it's not a typical talk or a dialogue between two political parties wanting an electoral arithmetic. It's purely between two individuals who thought of a larger cause. That's the way I put it.
But Mr. Pandian, BJD has also maintained a sort of an equidistance from other opposition parties. You have not joined the bandwagon on multiple issues. How do you describe this special Navin Babu style of politics?
So Navin Babu's style of politics is very simple. He came to Odisha to serve the people of Odisha. So his interest starts and ends with people of Odisha. And if he can add value to the national politics in terms of opposing farmers' bill or NRC or raising about women's reservation, demanding women's reservation, or demanding that in the preamble, Ahimsa should be introduced. Ahimsa is the original word for India. It's Mahatma Gandhi's principle. as a tribute to the father of nation, introduce ahimsa in your preamble. These are things which BJD and Navin Babu tells for the country. But when it comes to state's interests, he is very, very clear on what he wants to do. He left everything and came only to serve these people, these 4.5 crore people of Odisha. So his breath, his blood, his sweat, his thinking, everything is for this. Of course, he is a nationalist. Whenever it comes to national issues, he voices his opinion.
Okay, I was going through your manifesto. Guarantees are now common across every political party. But your manifesto is also talking about free power to consumer up to 100 units. Now, I want to ask you, is it really affordable? You know, you have seen how bureaucracy works, the public distribution system works, the sort of leakages we have. Is it really affordable to give free electricity? It's a big debate in Delhi. Even the Delhi government gives free electricity, and it has become a debatable topic.
So, our scheme is, or the promise we have made is very different. We have found out 70% of the population, the bill is less than 50 units. 70% of the population. 10% of the population is from 50 to 100 units. And 15% is from 100 to 150 units. So, up to 150 units, 85% of the population is covered. Odisha has one of the largest populations of tribal people. 33 largest population of tribal people, and we have a lot of scheduled areas. The CM wanted to give that comfort to a larger population, and he has introduced a concept of conservation in this. If you are up to 100, you maintain up to 100, then you get 100% rebate. If you go from 100 to 150, you get only 50 units ka rebate. After 150, there is no rebate. It's over. So, it is self-targeting the poor and lower middle class. Nobody else can use it. If your bill is more than 150, you are not coming in the scheme of things. And also, if you see the manifesto, he has said that we will incentivize power saving, in the sense that, say for example, he gives up to 100 free of cost electricity. If you use only 50 units, then the rest 50 unit he will monetize and give it back to the poor person.
Okay. There's another very interesting component of your manifesto, which is budget for youth. 1,000 crores to be spent on their advice. How is it possible? I mean, say it's good on paper, but a young man, 21-year-old man or a woman advising how the money, that 2,000 crore to be spent.
So I'll explain to you this.
How do you consolidate opinions into action?
I'll explain this. We are introducing a smart card called the Navin Odisha Magic Card. It's a smart card. That smart card will have various activities, and the smart card will be recharged based on various activities performed by the students. Like for example, we give a set of activities for the student. You participate in quiz competitions, you participate in extracurricular, you participate in co-curricular, you participate in sports, you take up career counseling, you take artificial intelligence classes, you do personality development courses. We give all the courses. So for each course, they get a weightage in marks, and the card gets recharged. Now, the students will decide, okay, if the card is recharged, what are all activities this card can be used? So we are going to map the entire ecosystem, education ecosystem, and see where there is an interface between the student and a service provider.
Are you saying that you want to create a data bank?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we are mapping the ecosystem where, in which activities the student has an interface with a service provider. So this card can be used with the service provider, whether it is transport, whether it is career counseling, online career counseling, whether it is competitive journals he wants to get. All these can be got from this card. So now, how this youth comes into it? This 1,000 crore is for this Navin Odisha Magic Card, this smart card. The students will decide. Maybe we'll have an online poll. What are the 10 topics in which this card should be used? Career counseling, book purchase, fees concession, bus transport, like that. It is a revolutionary concept, and Navin Babu will deliver it in style. In fact, we had a discussion with Mr. Bill Gates Foundation. He was so impressed with this idea that first time we will issue for 100% students a card which will empower them access to various services for his own education. And how do you recharge the card? You improve your personality, you participate in sports, you participate in debate, you participate in cultural activities, you do personality development courses. So on the one side, you are actually incentivizing whatever will improve your personality. And the incentives we are making them to use for furthering their cause.
Okay. Teamwork.
Are you now convinced?
Well, the proof of the pudding is in eating it.
Yes.
Let's see
so
how it gets materialized.
we introduced a smart card called the Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana card. Revolutionary. Nobody thought that this will work like this. It's like a debit card or a credit card. You go to any hospital which are empaneled, 300, 400 hospitals throughout the country. You swipe the card and your job is done. There is no insurance, there is no third, nothing is there. Just swipe the card and say for example, somebody has a heart attack or somebody has a cancer issue and they go to Bombay for treatment. They go swipe the card in the hospital. Their bill amount is deducted and they get a SMS that from your card of 5 lakh rupees, 3.6 lakhs is deducted and 1.4 lakh is still there with you. The SMS goes to the person and it comes to us. That is the kind of technology backup we have kept whenever we introduce an intervention, and the same thing we'll set global benchmark in this magic card.
Okay. Teamwork, technology, transparency, time for transformation. Is this a transformative concept or is it a super ministry?
It is a governance principle of the chief minister. There is no ministry, there is no department, there is absolutely nothing. If you want to say that why all departments have to be under this is not a department at all, first. This is a concept, this is a principle, governance principle of the chief minister, where he introduces certain values, where he fixes accountability. And I was in chief minister office, so chief minister office is the main office in the state, where every department reports. So from chief minister office, this 5T was monitored, so that work happens with utmost transparency. Teamwork is done, community is involved, stakeholders are involved. It's not like engineers driven or bureaucrats driven. There has to be participation. Like for example, in schools, there are two ways of renovating schools. One, you just do a tender, make the contractor to do the work. The other way is give the funds to the school management committee, make alumni as part of it, make the parents part of it, and make accountability. So the community is involved. So teamwork. Technology, use the best of technology. All the blackboards in the state through this 5T in high school level, higher secondary, college, all blackboards are replaced by digital boards. No state can claim this. All higher education, we don't have any blackboards. All are digital boards. Teamwork, technology, then time. In government, nobody bothers about time. You have financial audit, you have legal audit, but you don't have a time audit. So the time audit is introduced by chief minister, by which if you complete a task in a particular time, you are incentivized. If you don't complete, you are disincentivized. You will face the consequences. So all this leading to transformation, huge transformation. Change is small, transformation is big. I'll give an example. Disaster management. Odisha was known for mishandling disaster management till CM came to office. 1999, we had the super cyclone and more than 10,000 precious lives were lost. In 2013, we had a similar or a bigger super cyclone called Phylline. By the time he has used technology, Naveen Babu had used technology, he had mapped the entire coastal system, found out which are the vulnerable points. If the wind's velocity is this much, how much will be the wave height? How much inundation will happen? IITs, he used IITs and found out, did a vulnerability mapping, put cyclone shelters, pulled floodwater shelters, put embankments, put a communication system by which all the communications, which is very dynamic in a cyclone situation, goes and reaches the last person. Phylline came, first test for Naveen Babu for his 5T governance. In 24 hours, he shifted 1 million people. 24 hours, nowhere in the world it has happened. It came and hit in 240, 260 kilometers per hour. We waited for 24 hours for death figures to come. No. 48 hours, no death. Then we realized that Odisha has moved forward. Cyclones will come. Natural disasters will happen, but there won't be deaths in Odisha. And New York Times wrote a glowing tribute to Odisha in its first front page editorial. If you have to save 1 million lives, learn it from Odisha. So wherever Naveen Babu has touched, whether it is sports, he makes it sports capital of India. In food security, Odisha was a food insecure state. We were dependent on other states. Naveen Babu made it food surplus. We are one of the biggest contributors for food security. You take any field, poverty, the rate of poverty reduction is the highest and fastest in Odisha. tribal empowerment, women empowerment. He is the only leader who is giving 33% reservation in Lok Sabha. So whatever he does it with his heart and very scientific.
Do you feel that the constitution or democracy is in danger?
No, I would not say that. Not at all. Not at all. Indian constitution and Indian democracy is what should I say? It's so strong. I don't think anybody on earth or anybody in the political system will dare to touch the constitution, or will have the wherewithals to amend the constitution's basic features. And we have a judiciary also. You can't touch the basic features of the constitution. See, this constitution debate is also diverting the core issues of people. How many people in our villages are thinking about whether constitution is getting changed or not?
But the BJP, on the other hand, is also only talking about benefits in context of Muslims.
So that's what I meant, that both the national parties are indulging themselves in peripheral issues, not focusing on the core issues. Make India a manufacturing giant, get new world economy, empower your youth, give them jobs. Why you are beating around the bush? Indian youth want jobs. Indian youth want employment. India has to be skilled for the world. Your population is growing.
I know you're not the spokesperson for any of the opposition parties, but being in public life, I think this question is fair enough on my part to put to you. Opposition alleges that the entire might of the investigative agencies are against them, as if the entire corruption is happening within the opposition. Your comments?
That is the perception people have throughout the country. But one has to see case by case. One cannot give a blanket situation, blanket comment on this. But that is the perception people have. Perhaps because only the opposition parties are getting into these issues. But each case has to be seen in isolation, whether there is a merit in the case. I won't be able to comment on and make a sweeping statement on this.
In case if opposition requires support from BJD, is BJD open to supporting them if there is a fractured mandate?
Who is the opposition?
The India Alliance or the Congress-led alliance?
See, we are in the middle of election. In 30-40 constituencies, we are fighting the BJP, and maybe 20-30 constituencies, we are fighting the Congress. So out of 147 constituencies, our fight is with BJP in 30 constituencies or so, 30-40, and Congress in 25 constituencies. So far as it's both are opposition, I can't divide between BJP and Congress. In the entire southern Odisha, we are fighting the Congress. In parts of western Odisha, we are fighting the Congress. Last time, in fact, Koraput, it's a southern Odisha district. Koraput parliamentary constituency was won by Congress. And many places, Congress has come number 2. So our fight is both with both the national parties. It's not with one national party. So
there have been a lot of articles on Ayodhya Corridor, Ayodhya as a concept for a city, a cultural center, as a religious center. How have you developed the Jagannath Corridor?
Jagannath Corridor, so the parikrama, is for 2-3 reasons. The first reason is security of the temple itself. It was surrounded by large number of lodges, all overlooking into the 8th century shrine. So Naveen Babu decided that this has to be cleaned up. First and foremost was the security reason, to protect Lord Jagannath's temple, Sri Mandir. So he decided, he put a scientific team to find out how much distance, when you have a buffer area, people will not be attacked the temple so easily. It was 75 meters. He put a retired judge, security specialist to identify. So the 75-meter corridor was one of the main reasons. Number 2, Sri Mandir is one of the Char Dhams. People were not able to do the parikrama. In Hinduism, Sanatan Dharma, parikrama is one of the ways of praying to the Lord. People couldn't do it. There was a road which was going across the parikrama, main road of the town. People were not able to do a blissful or peaceful darshan. So the 75-meter corridor has taken care of everything, and it provided space for having public amenities as well, because in some times when the crowd is huge, people have to wait for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. Festive days, it's more. If you have to provide amenities, you need space. So these are the 3 reasons why this Sri Mandir corridor project was taken up.
How do you evaluate Prime Minister Modi's 10 years?
He is very hardworking.
But he seems to be hard on your leader. He's saying that, you'll have a new leader after the election.
That's political rhetoric. When you ask me personally, how do you rate him? I would rate him as he is a very hardworking person. Even the Honorable Chief Minister thinks that way. He does very hard work. Say, for example, demonetization, everyone criticized. There was political pressure on CM also to criticize. His own party, BJD, suggested. But CM thought that we don't know how it is going to fan out. But the intention with which demonetization was done, the intent was to, if it was to clean up black money, it's a good thing. So that's how the CM also sees some of his actions. But of course, the demonetization created so many problems and people have to go through. That's why I said that the intent was good.
So, in the recent, there was a very rare video recording of Naveen Babu which was sent. You were also seen in the picture where he said ki, dream on.
So the Honorable PM had made a statement that on June 10th, on June 4th, election counting will be done, and that will be the expiry date for BJD government. On June 6th, they will announce a chief minister candidate or chief minister face, and June 10th, the swearing in will happen. So Honorable CM remembered 2019 elections when Honorable PM had made similar statement in Kendrapada election rally. He was campaigning for their candidate, and he said that this time Navin Babu is getting a farewell. So in 2019, he used the word farewell. In 2024, he has used the word expiry. In 2019, 2 hours after the Honorable PM made his statement that Navin Babu is getting a farewell, Navin Babu replied in his own style, saying that 2 phases of elections are over for Odisha. BJD has already got a majority. 3rd phase is still there, but I have already got a majority. I would humbly invite the Honorable PM for my swearing in, and he may come and attend the swearing in. This is what he replied in 2019. So it's a continuous process. In 2024, the Honorable PM has said, and the Honorable CM said that BJP in Odisha has a long history of daydreaming. They have a long history of daydreaming. They are habitual daydreamers. So he based it on the last elections in which 30 out of 30 Zilla Parishad BJD won. Out of 8, these are all symbol elections. Out of 850 seats, 750 seats BJD won, symbol election, 1 year back, and BJP won less than 50 seats. So I think he used the appropriate word, daydreaming. They are habitual daydreamers in Odisha.
So, Mr. Pandian, thank you so much for joining me in this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You were the chosen one to direct Mr. Bachchan for his first endorsement, for his first appearance on the small screen.
It was a life-changing moment.
Have you been a rebel with a cause?
There was a sense of responsibility, there was a sense of frustration.
Are you worried about cancel culture?
You tell a story with a fierce psychosis, you're gonna spoil it anyway.
This and more, streaming on News9, plus subscribe and get free vouchers.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है Money9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
जैसे जैसे चुनाव आगे बढ़ रहा है, राजनीतिक गर्मी बढ़ती जा रही है, मुद्दे बदल रहे हैं। लगातार चुनाव प्रचार में राजनीतिक दल अपने अपने दावे कर रहे हैं। विपक्ष कह रहा है कि पिक्चर अभी बाकी है, तो बीजेपी का कहना है कि पिक्चर ठीक वैसी ही है जैसी अभी तक दिखाई दे रही थी, और वो पूरी तरह से साफ है। लेकिन राजनीतिक मैदान में क्या हो रहा है, उसे आसानी से समझने के लिए हमारे साथ खास मेहमान मौजूद हैं। हमारे साथ देश के गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जी मौजूद हैं। बहुत स्वागत है TV9 भारतवर्ष में अमित जी आपका। चुनाव प्रचार में इस वक्त केंद्र में चुनाव के जो मुद्दा है, जिसकी चर्चा बहुत हो रही है, वो अरविंद केजरीवाल ने जेल से बाहर आने के बाद सामने रखा है। उन्होंने कहा कि अब प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी अगले साल 75 बरस के हो जाएंगे, और 17 सितंबर 2025 के बाद वो देश के प्रधानमंत्री नहीं रह सकते हैं।
देखिए, केजरीवाल जी अपनी पार्टी ठीक नहीं चला पा रहे हैं। वो जेल में थे तो अपना बाद में किसको यहाँ मुख्यमंत्री बनाना वो भी तय नहीं कर पाए। जेल में रहकर उन्होंने सरकार चलाने का प्रयास किया और वो हमारी पार्टी चलाने की बात कर रहे हैं। मैं आपकी चैनल के माध्यम से स्पष्ट